All right. Greetings. Welcome back to Black Bear News, where everything is connected and somewhat in alignment. How y'all feeling? Good to see you. Thanks for hanging out with me every day. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. I have to clarify this. Seriously? Thailand got to 54 Celsius? Andre? Man, hold on one second. That's hold on. I mean, is that wow. Okay, we gotta hold the presses here for a second. We have to hold the presses here. Cuz sure, I have other things to talk about, but hold on. Portland is going to hit 85 this weekend in April. Yeah, okay. We're screwed. We are so screwed right now. Man, I have said this. I intimated as much a week or two ago. It wasn't that long ago. Something is afoot, and I this year, I don't know. I just said, over the last few weeks that some place is going to hit 130 degrees. That is not like Oman or somewhere in the Middle East. This is not in the Middle East. I don't know if they ever get this hot, but let's consider the fact that it is April. That it is not summertime in the northern hemisphere yet. It's not even summer yet. So the heat index, that's actually what I wanted to figure out there, Poppy Davis. That's why I wanted to look at the article. Because that's a little misleading when you say the heat index hit 54C. That's totally different. That's still hot as hell. That is still very, very hot. But thanks for the heads up, Andre. Well, we got to look at this though, because this is we really, really need to understand what's going down right now, or try to. And because I'm having very bad feelings about how things are already going this year, and how when the sun comes out here, we've had an elongated winter. We've had very strange, weird weather. But whenever the sun comes out, it just is hot as blazes immediately. And it's April. We're not even there. We're not even in the really rough part of the year yet. And I can't even imagine what's going to be happening in about a month or two. The heat index will be above 40 degrees Celsius. This is in Thailand. Predicting highs of 54C. All right. Huh. Okay. Well, this looks a little different here. Hold on. This is from 2 days ago. Anyways, it hit 42C, which is 100 Fahrenheit in the capital on Saturday. Okay, very hot. Heat index 54C is a wet bulb temp killer. All right. Thanks, Poppy. So 100 degrees, but with the humidity, right, it's going to be a lot warmer. Heat index hit 129. April is traditionally Thailand's warmest month, with an average high of 37 C. However, temperatures of more than 40 C were forecast this weekend in at least 28 of 77 provinces. Okay. A record 45 C was reported in Thailand for the first time ever last week, according to weather watchers using the country's meteorological service. All right. So it's obviously very warm there, and they're setting records. All right, this isn't, this is frightening, but it isn't. We can't really take this and run down the street screaming with this, because this is very hot. Their average temperature is 97 C during this month. It's, they're reportedly reaching 113 C. That's extremely hot. The heat index is very hot, and that's, obviously not good for people trying to survive there. And there's been, heat waves all over the place, and we're going to talk about that in this show for sure. Yeah, all over Asia, they're experiencing extremely warm temperatures. 109 degrees in the west of Bangladesh. Excuse me. Schools in at least 2 Indian states shut this week after temperatures reached more than 5 C above normal. I mean, we know that these hot... No, you're good. You're good, Andre. You're good. I'm not... This is a... something that's important to cover and to think and to talk about. But I mean, I think the context is important. That's why, I wanted to look at it and see, did it actually reach 54 C? Obviously it feels like 130 is extremely 130 degrees is extremely concerning. Even if it feels like. But there is massive heat. And we're going to talk about that. But anyways, hold on one second. So I was going to actually cover some other news to start the show, but I might as well. Since we're here, we'll get into it. Somebody's asking about Tucker Carlson being fired at Fox News, and I want to talk about that too. But we'll get there. There is massive, massive amounts of heat going on all over the planet. And I still hold to what I was talking about over the last few weeks, that what a lot of people are feeling, even people who aren't really like super clued into climate change. A lot of people are like, it's going to be really hot this year. I keep hearing that from people. Climate change aware or not, I hear people saying, I think it's going to be really hot this year. I don't know. What gives you that impression? Spain is very, very warm. Spanish National Meteorological Agency confirms that a historic heat wave will hit Spain, whose agriculture already has both knees on the ground. 35 to 40 C expected in April. That's 16 C above average. It is unprecedented in Spain. It is unprecedented in Europe. So we are seeing off the charts temperatures going on everywhere. We've already seen off the charts temperatures going on in the U.S., in Mexico, everywhere. Anyways, we'll keep going with this for a moment. From Fenrir, who is sounding a lot like Sam Carana and very very doomy, but let's take this as a point of reference. Whether or not this is actually the truth, this is somewhere within someone's calculations. This marks the start of a rapid heating of the northern hemisphere. The northern hemisphere's northern continental land masses, based on the record sea surface temperatures. I don't know, I don't know where Fenrir is getting this on a scientific level, but that's fine. Sorry for the scrolling. Based on the record sea surface temperatures, we should expect record mid-continent land temps, 13 C above average. Agricultural disasters likely. Well, what's happening in Spain right now? 16 C. They're predicting 16 C above average. That's above. That's above the 13 C that they just talked about. But look, this is where we are on the chart, on the deviation. Daily sea surface temperature chart, still way above normal and not acting like it wants to come down to join the crowd down here. More on this, according to the GEOS analysis, the 10 HPA 60 degree north zonal mean winds reversed to easterlies on April 20th, marking the final stratospheric warming and dissipation of the Arctic stratospheric polar vortex for this season. Anyways, so I don't know where Fenrir is getting this, but it seems like the actual temperatures are lining up. It looks like it's lining up because there's some serious heat going on. Hold on. From Peter Dines. Also, who has been, on top of this, whilst people try to flee the political crisis in Sudan, let's not forget the climate crisis is also driving the country into chaos. People are fleeing in temperatures of around 43 C or 109 degrees Fahrenheit. 109 degrees Fahrenheit, and imagine how humid it is there. Imagine what the feels like temperature is there. 109 degrees Fahrenheit. Anyways. And lastly, maybe not lastly, I don't know. Hold on. Oh, well, let's go to Sam Carana for a moment. Humans, Sam Carana typically pessimistic. The magenta trend, humans may be extinct in 2026. The magenta trend line here, try and get that as big as possible, based on adjusted NASA January 2010 to March 2023 data, reflects relatively short-term variables such as El Nino and illustrates how 3C could be crossed as early as 2025. Okay. Could be crossed. This is, not out of we have to take that as another data point. As another opinion on the data as well. Again, I don't feel good personally. That's just a gut feeling, that's also tempered by taking in what's happening, looking at trend lines, looking at graphs, looking at, the what's been happening over the last 4 or 5 years, coupling that with El Nino, right? You could put these things all together and kind of, maybe get a picture. So I'm not feeling optimistic. All right. Lastly here, and then we'll move on to some world news or whatever. WMO chief Petteri Talas told a press conference that extreme weather caused by greenhouse gas emissions may continue until the 2060s, independent of our success in climate mitigation. Basically saying we're warming no matter what we do, and we're going to continue to warm for the next 30 or 5 years or whatever. No matter what we do. Lost cause, too late to save glaciers with off the charts melting. The last 8 years have been the warmest ever recorded, while concentrations of greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide hit new peaks. All of that is true. Antarctic sea ice fell to its lowest extent on record, and the melting of some European glaciers was literally off the charts. Sea levels are also at a record high, having risen by an average of 4.62 millimeters per year between 2013 and 2022, double the annual rate between 1993 and 2002. Record high temperatures were also recorded in the oceans, where around 90% of the heat trapped on Earth by greenhouse gases ends up. And, refer back to the... refer back to the sea surface temperature chart. All right. Well, that's what's happening with the planet heating up and continuing to heat up Things are getting hot. It's getting hot in here. You know the next line, I think. I was going to talk about. Well, I was going to talk about the screwy desert city, but maybe we'll play that in a second. Don Lemon getting fired by CNN. That's interesting. Yeah, well, he departed abruptly. So that's interesting. On the same day, Tucker Carlson leaves, Don Lemon leaves. I mean, he says he's been fired. But Don Lemon, I think, is being relieved of duty because he's a jerk. All right already. Leave me alone. Oh, forget it. Hold on. I mean, he's also, Don Lemon is a liar, for a spreader of propaganda for the state, basically, or the corporations, whatever you want to call it. Whereas Tucker Carlson is controversial because he attempts to tell the truth. Do I agree? Do I think that Tucker has, moments of also putting propaganda out there? Sure. But Tucker is actually controversial because he tells the truth on cable TV, on that, national major mainstream news channel, and people are really upset about that. Predominantly the powers that be. But Tucker Carlson is, Don Lemon has an interesting relationship with the truth. Whereas, he can't find it. He doesn't seem to be able to find it. Oh, Rich Diana, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Rich Diana says, come to the Acceptance Assembly 5 Steps meeting. Okay. We meet in the basement of the Shakers Memorial Church every Thursday night. All right. Scott Andrews, well, yeah, he's probably got poor. Well, that's the other difference between Don Lemon and Tucker Carlson. Tucker Carlson is that's also interesting about him leaving. He has the highest ratings of any show on the air. Tucker Carlson is the ratings leader nationwide. So he's leaving. Why would you sack the highest ratings leader? Well, I don't know. We'll talk about it for a second. But Don Lemon leaving because, people don't really like him. So yeah, let's look at this for a second. Anyways, Lemon says he's stunned. His agent told him he was fired. Blah blah blah. And I'm not necessarily too concerned about that. Sorry for. Let me make sure I'm looking at the right thing here. Tucker Carlson is leaving Fox News. Network announces. This is pretty big news. He has interviewed, RFK Jr. He has all kinds of imperialist lefties on a show appear on a show, right? Tulsi Gabbard subs for him once in a while. He's an interesting figure, and he's a polarizing figure. And here's the really interesting part. They're saying, they're trying to tie it to the Dominion suit. In which, they allege that Fox News defamed Dominion, the voting machine maker. All right. I mean, there's a lot to say about that because, for one thing, everyone knows those machines are hackable and have known for a long time. So it's a little bit, how that case even got tried, I don't know. And the idea that they sued Fox News is an interesting, part of the play because you've set up this idea that, only Fox News lies and only Republicans lie and they're just the liars, and Dominion sues them and they settle out of court, and that, is an admission of guilt on some level, and somehow Dominion is the righteous winner of this suit. It makes them look credible, which they are not credible at all. So it's all these things are really muddying the picture of what's really going on. And here's the interesting thing. Tucker didn't agree with those quote unquote lies that Fox News was spreading in, emails and messages, private messages that were uncovered. He was saying this is a bunch of hooey. This is, he's like, this is a bunch of bullshit. So he thought that their narrative about the election was wrong. And he gets fired. So that's very, very interesting. But they're trying to make it seem like he was the one that was spreading the lies. The way this news story is playing out, they're making it seem like he was the purveyor of lies, or the one that was spreading the lies. Yes, Judy Truitt, I think they've been mad at him for a long time. I think you're right. The powers that be wanted to get rid of Tucker for a long time. He's a thorn in their side, but it's hard to get rid of somebody who's got them ratings, right? And maybe this is just a good excuse to let him go, but it doesn't really. None of it makes sense because why has the biggest ratings around in town, and he didn't agree with these lies. Privately, did not agree with these lies. The lies, the quote unquote lies, is what I meant. Didn't agree with the story about Dominion or the election. So why are they getting rid of him? It's almost like it doesn't make any sense. The reasons are not shaping up. News of Carlson's departure from Fox News comes days after the network reached a settlement with Dominion Voting Systems. The voting technology company filed a lawsuit against the cable news giant in March 2021. Anyways, the company specified 20 broadcasts that it said were defamatory, including, and here they'll point to Carlson, including a January 26, 2021 episode of Carlson's show featuring MyPillow founder Mike Lindell. Anyways, in an exchange with a member of his staff, this is where the story gets a little weird because Carlson was not a Trump, was disillusioned with Trump. After the 2020 election was declared for Biden, Carlson wrote, "We are very, very close to being able to ignore Trump most nights. I truly can't wait. I hate him passionately." Carlson also called the former president a demonic force, a destroyer, in a text message to his producer following the January 6, 2021 assault on the U.S. Capitol. So he didn't. That's, it makes it strange that he is the scapegoat for this. It doesn't really line up. And he had questions about January 6th, though. I think maybe that's why they're letting go of him. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why they would he is questioning the Ukraine narrative. He's questioning all kinds of narratives. The COVID narrative. He's questioning, all kinds of things, right? Anyways. And on top of that, people have been calling for his silencing. People like AOC, who thinks that we should, using the old "they're promoting violence" narrative one more time. She calls on the government to ban Tucker Carlson and other Fox hosts. Wow. As if they're the only ones that lie. Who else is promoting violence? I don't know. Do you think promoting a war is promoting violence? Do you think saber rattling with Russia and China is promoting violence? Do you think, I'd say that's kind of promoting violence, don't you think? I mean, we're talking about the First Amendment. We're talking about the Fourth Estate, and she's talking about, well, we need to silence. So let's listen to this for a second.
Regulation in terms of what's allowed on air and what isn't. And when you look at what Tucker Carlson and some of these other folks on Fox do, it is very, very clearly incitement of violence. Very clearly incitement of violence. And that is the line that I think we have to be willing to contest.
Based on what, though? She's just saying those words, right? Based on what? Based on what? You could just say, "Oh, violence. We're fearing for our safety." And that's reason enough to, shut people up, shut people down. But imagine this scenario if they succeed in doing stuff like this. Or, they've really been very successful in getting people to think. They've been very successful in getting people to think that January 6th was an insurrection and that, the Trump people are out of control and, how dare you? Imagine RFK Jr. Getting deep into the primaries and getting, pushed out, right? And the done like Bernie Sanders. And people are, hey, this is RFK. This ain't no Bernie Sanders. This is RFK. And a lot of people really like him. And a lot of people are really, behind him. And from all across America, right? People from the left, people from the right, people from the middle, independents. A big portion of the population is behind RFK Jr. He gets deep into the primaries, and they are, they're doing the thing that they do, and people get unhappy, and people start protesting, or people might show up at the Capitol. People might. Then are you silencing RFK because he's promoting violence? Are you disqualifying him from the race because people are pissed off about his treatment in said race? I mean, this has all kinds of implications. And we know these implications are not good. So there's that, and that's frightening because the left has, unveiled themselves to be truly the fascists, right? Well, we got to suspend the First Amendment in order to save free speech. We got to suspend democracy in order to save democracy. We got to go arrest people, anybody who's speaking against the administration or against the government because it's a national security risk. They're just, any old reason whatsoever is a reason to go arrest people, lock people up, shut people down, turn off their bank accounts, turn off whatever, it has been happening for a while, so. This is not new. It's just something that's been happening and getting worse as we go along. But AOC is not your friend, in case you were confused by that or about that. I think a lot of people already understand that, hopefully. Oh, give me 1 second. Guys calling people. All right. Where are we at? So they're calling for the silencing of an entire network. Phantomas, I see you. I'll take a call in just a moment. From Professor Zenkus. The DNC, the National Democratic Party, has said it will support Biden's re-election and it has no plans to sponsor primary debates. Do not vote for this party ever again. They don't care about democracy, and they definitely don't care about you. Headline, just when Dem debates would have been interesting, DNC says there will be no debates. There will be no debate. We will not debate. This is the position of the left now. We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to debate. We don't have open, and we can't because the very dangerous people want to say something, right? So, somebody wants to say something? Well, they must be dangerous. We don't want to hear it, and we don't negotiate with terrorists, right? Blah, blah, blah. So we're just going to shut it down. I wonder how that's going to play. Again, RFK Jr. is going to be extremely popular. He's already extremely popular. A lot of people are already excited that he's running. And if you're going to say, oh, well, no debates, you think that's going to spark some kind of protest? You think some people are going to be unhappy about that? Well, too bad. We can't have any more insurrections like January 6th. We simply cannot. They've already tried to do this. Well, now they're going, here's the silence. Let's not talk about this person tactic, right? There's two tactics. There's let's just smear the person outright, right out of the gate. And then there's the let's act like this person doesn't exist right out of the gate. The DNC plan, we're going to keep going with this. The DNC plans no primary debates as though there simply are no other candidates. No other ideas we should discuss about the ways to win in 2024. This is Marianne Williamson. Or other ideas we should discuss about ways to repair the country. Too many people are too smart to accept this. And I happen to agree with her on that. And then here's the article they put out recently. Here's the people that have thrown their hat in the ring for the 2024 election from Reuters from like 3 days ago. 2024 U.S. presidential election. Who's in, who's out, blah, blah, blah. Who is in, who is out, and who is still thinking about it? First of all, Joe Biden. He's going to seek re-election. And nobody else on the left. Not one other Democratic candidate has declared. What? Marianne Williamson has already declared. RFK has already declared. Those are, you might feel some kind of way about Marianne Williamson, but RFK is a pretty big name. So that's it. Joe Biden seeking re-election. Nobody standing in his way. There you go. Then Donald Trump, Ron DeSantis, Nikki Haley on this is all conservatives. Tim Scott, Asa Hutchinson, Mike Pence, Chris Christie, Chris Sununu, Vivek Ramaswamy, Mike Pompeo, Glenn Youngkin, and Marianne Williamson all the way down at the bottom. All the way down at the bottom. Oh, there's Marianne Williamson. That's funny because, I mean, the Republican Party is supposed to be the party of, fascism, and they seem to be open to a lot of people running. They seem to be open to other voices. They seem to be open to having whoever, gets in to the primaries continue through the primaries. But not so much the Democrats. Marianne Williamson all the way at the bottom. And no mention of RFK. But maybe he hadn't announced by the time of this article. All right. Give me 1 second. Un momento. So I'm going to take this call from Fantomas, but I want to bring up this video that he sent me about Neom. Have you heard about the city that they're going to build in the Middle East? Oh, I did want to. Oh, maybe we'll play this Tucker Carlson video too. Hold on. Yeah. That they're going to build this huge, this city that's a big straight line. This is going to be a planet-saving type thing. Okay, we're going to take this call from Fantomas. Cue the noise. Fantomas, how you doing?
I'm doing good. One thing that I wanted to mention before about the Neom stuff, debates with the right and the left. One thing I find interesting is 60 Minutes had Ray Epps on last night.
Yes.
And they wanted to talk about him, and they wanted to bring up his background and his history. But you know what's interesting about this, Kev? What's interesting about this is they don't want to bring up his family life, because at the same time, when he was doing a 60 Minutes interview, his alleged daughter, I don't know if it's true or not, but she has pictures, she was saying that Ray Epps is a scumbag and he's a pedophile on Twitter Spaces.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow.
And if you go to
I didn't see that. That's heavy.
If you go on Twitter to Dom Lucre, DOMLUCRE, he has a threaded Twitter thread of the Twitter Spaces clip that he did with her, the interview that he did with her.
Okay.
But what's interesting to me about that, again, only certain women you can believe.
Right?
Only certain women, only
Right?
certain people. You have to have a political persuasion. If you don't have that, you are tossed out immediately.
Yeah. Yep. You're right. Oh, no, not her. Not Tulsi Gabbard.
Not Tulsi Gabbard. No, don't believe her.
Don't believe her. She's crazy.
Don't believe Tara. She's with the Russians.
I have
Don't
different.
believe-
I have different ideas about Tara, but that's. Yeah, but you're right. That is the narrative.
Yeah.
Don't listen to Tara. You're right. And there's other people too. There's other women. Don't listen to Cynthia McKinney. Don't right? Like don't listen.
Right,
don't
right.
listen to There's so many other women out there that have been voices of truth. Even Marianne Williamson gets slammed. Oh, and Jill Stein. When Jill Stein
And look-
was such a strong candidate against Hillary Clinton, all of a sudden it was Jill Stein was a loon, a crazy, a green, a lefty, a fake lefty, a very wealthy lefty, the wrong kind of lefty, a Russian ass. She was absolutely trashed, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. So, believe all women, support all women. Okay, no, only if her name is Hillary Clinton.
I'll give you a perfect example, and I'll name names. Tom Hartman. He completely dumped Robert Kennedy. Well, he was praising him to this. He was praising him to the hilt for decades.
Right.
When he was on the air, and then all of
That
a
means
sudden,
Tom Hartman is a sold-out scumbag.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm not. Those are your words, not mine.
No, he's a sold-out scumbag. He's a scum. He's
Yeah.
He's a POS. Sorry.
I don't know exactly the backstory on there might be some other. There might be something else brewing there as well, but I do find it funny that so many people bailed on this one issue that they have with him.
Yeah, but I know that I'm being harsh in using those words, but if you are someone who is casting yourself as a speaker of truth and science, right? And you throw those qualities or those values out the window just because they go against your political affiliation, or you can't do the work to actually look at the science and the evidence or the truth, or that's a little too scary, a little too much of a third rail, well then you're not truthful, then you're not a journalist, and you should stop being a liar, right? You should stop being a paid liar. And I don't have any respect for people like that. I just don't. And so, I can be a little harsh, but that's, I just don't respect it. I don't respect it.
I get it. I mean, it's a constant, a constant just manipulation that we're seeing over and over again with where it concerns the Democrats, especially what they're doing with other candidates. And it makes me think like the fact of, but when is the wake up going to happen where Marianne Williamson and Robert F. Kennedy realize, hey, they're never, ever, ever going to accept me or my family or anyone that doesn't have the Biden name. So maybe I should be third what?
Yeah.
Maybe I should be third party.
Yeah.
Can that happen? And that's the problem that so many people are struggling with. They especially the older generation, they can't make that jump.
Well,
they can't.
Yeah, you're right.
It's so impossible for them to dream that, and I think that's the fear is just constantly strangled them so much that this is where we're at right now. They just keep running back to the Democrats.
Yep. And I think actually it serves the Democrats better that they're running in the Democratic Party. If they were running independent, they'd be even more frightened of them. But I don't know. It's a double-edged sword, because if you run independent, in some ways it's easier for them to keep you out, right? To not allow you in the debate stage, to not allow you to register yourself as a candidate in every state. You know what I mean? Like it's harder to fundraise, that you don't get treated the same if you're an independent. Whereas if you are a Democratic candidate, I think the idea is that if you're casting yourself in the legitimized party, that they have to like take you seriously. But that's probably foolish.
Well,
I don't know.
I will say regarding the Nome City, I want to see what happens regarding the city in Saudi Arabia. That's going to be a 580-mile line or whatever they're planning on doing. It's so ridiculous on the face of it.
It's the weirdest. Yeah.
And what's funny about it is they're not going to let up in terms of the funding. So they have endless funding. Number one, I was looking at some of the new pictures of the. I'll have to send you this madness of the construction that is going on right there. It looks like. I mean, what did they say now that it's 2030? So 2030 is when they're going to have this city up and running. And if you listen to like the details, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna play the video and just let people see it.
I'll tell you what, you play the video. I'm gonna get off. We've talked enough for right now.
All right. Thanks for calling.
All right, man. Peace.
All right, we'll watch this video about NEOM. Where is it? Oh, there was so many things I wanted to play today, and it's getting late. What's up, Rockfinders? You holding in, hanging in, holding out, holding on? I don't know what the hell I'm saying. You guys are here hanging out. If you're hanging out on Rockfin, say hey. Or don't. Crap. Where is this? I had it, and then I don't have it. Anybody notice that Matt Orfalea, I think I said this the other day, when Matt Orfalea makes a video on Twitter, it won't play. It just spins. The little spinny thing just spins. Oh, here we go. I found it. Anyways, this is about NEOM, all right?
It's a home for people who dream big. Bigger than that. That's more like it. It'll be a hub for innovation. An entirely new model for sustainable living. The vision for a new future. In fact, that's how it got its name. But what will be there? There's Oxagon, a thriving city at the crossroads of the world, where advanced manufacturing will enable industries of the future. Trojana, a year-round mountain destination. Just remember to pack your skis when you visit. Or skiing's not your thing. There's always Sindala, one of NEOM's many beautiful islands. Perfect for some R&R. And the line, the 500-meter high, 200-meter wide, 170-kilometer long city in the shape of, well, a line. No roads, cars, or emissions. And everything its 9 million residents could ever need within a 5-minute walk. That entire region will offer unparalleled access to nature and be powered by clean energy. All within easy reach of the rest of the world. I know what you're thinking. Why does the world need NEOM?
That's a good question.
The world needs NEOM because the world needs change. That's what we mean when we say
Made to change.
NEOM represents a global opportunity for one, changing how the world does business by making the region a special economic zone, easing the way for entrepreneurs to blaze their trail. Two, changing the way we live our lives with preventative healthcare and the highest standards of livability. Sounds nice, right? And three, changing how we look after nature and our planet. Because without this, what use are 1 and 2? But how will NEOM achieve these aims, you may ask? Within NEOM are 14 sectors, spearheaded by the world's best talent. Each sector has been designed to advance technology and push the very limits of human knowledge. Imagine NEOM as a prototype for a better future. A future for all. One being built to last.
Okay. Well, that's exciting, isn't it? Yeah. You notice how all that is about, well, we're connected to the planet, the rest of the world, and you're still going to be able to go on vacation, and we're still going to have, tons of things going out and tons of things coming in and people traveling in and out, and like nothing will change. It's just going to look a little different. We're just rearranging some deck chairs on planet Earth. And let me refer back to the talk, I guess, the day prior to yesterday, the day before yesterday, when Steve Austin was talking about, using all those resources and burning all those, creating all those emissions in order to build a new world, which we've already, we've already gone well down the road of destroying the world we already have, right? The world we knew is quickly becoming functionally gone, right? So, but we're going to keep doing what we're doing in order to be able to keep doing what we're doing in the future without doing it so bad. Okay. If I got that straight, great. All right. Shoot, there were some other things I wanted to. I'll bring back some other things tomorrow. I think I've unfortunately run out of time today. But thank you all for hanging out with me today. Thanks for the tippers. Of course, Rockfin tips greatly appreciated. Super chats greatly appreciated. You can support the show at buymeacoffee.com/blackbearnews. Also, good place to support. Venmo. Yeah, and building something giant in the desert. That's not weird. All right. Thanks, Tor, for the super chat. I appreciate you, man. Thanks so much for being a supporter of the show. All right, guys. Thanks for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. I will see you all tomorrow at the regular time of 12 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Until next time, peace.